Hey folks, lyarri here. Today we're reacting to Trapped in a Box with my ex for 12 hours, Trapped by Cut. I This looks incredible. I'm very excited. Let's go.
To this day, I don't think I've ever been that in love with anybody.
So why'd you f it up and cheat on me?
Oh shit. Okay, that's a way to start.
Hey, a little hug or something or no? Or,
Sure.
hey.
It's a little. This is a good volume.
After you, I guess. The breakup happened May of 2019, more or less.
Like junior year of our college?
Okay, sorry. One
It was
more.
a while ago, yeah. I like this.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's comfy. I think there are things that both of us did.
There was an incident our junior year, and so I kind of want to get into that.
I love her glasses. What the fuck? Those are so cool. They're such hipsters.
Before we start, would you like a Tic Tac or no?
Do you think at the end of the 12 hours there's any chance you could fall back in love with him?
Oof. I don't think so.
We could leave potentially.
My God.
Maybe starting something new.
What do you mean by?
Like potentially getting back together. Maybe.
What did you think?
Wow. Okay, I need to see how this unfolds. Also, so I love the brown and yellow. Okay, I'm gonna. Her outfit looks so good
Texted
on
you
her.
If you wanted to be here.
We still need to have a couple conversations. So I was like, what better way than sitting in a box where you can't sit on your phone and you can't leave? I don't think either of us will really come out of here angry.
Well, I guess wait and see, I suppose.
He looks terrified.
It was a
Oh,
long
that's
process.
that's
We
a-
were friends for a long time.
We were friends for a few months.
We became like best friends, I would
Mhm.
say.
I knew that I liked you. You were and still are very attractive and beautiful and
Wow.
stylish and very fun to be around and stuff. And so we go
Wait, sorry, wait, no, I can't literally
to
interrupt.
this little party. We all get really drunk. You started making out with everybody.
It was a game.
At this point, it was like, what, 4
Oh.
or 5 in the morning. And I was like, I should probably go because I have work tomorrow at like 10. So you walk me like out of the building. And as I'm leaving, we engage in copious amounts of making out. And then I think the next day is when we had the conversation
Bro.
of like,
Bro, he used the word copious. I'm sorry. I use copious sometimes, but like I don't think you can.
okay, are we officially boyfriend, girlfriend? And we were like, yes. And that was September 24th.
Okay, because like this started off with her mentioning that he cheated on her. I didn't want to say this, but like he does have he has drip.
You know, we were together for a while, close to 2 years, I guess. In that time, you know, there were mistakes that were made and stuff. I just wanted to apologize because I cheated on you when we were
Okay.
together. And that really hurt you a lot. It's one of those things that to
Understandably.
this day I still think about like really often. It really wasn't fair, especially you know, being a kind person that you are and being the type of girlfriend that you were and the type of friend that you were and how important you were to me. I think I was just so like caught up in like the self-loathing of it. I wasn't even able to like see far enough to like
You're
see
just
you.
imploding.
And that made things worse, I think. But
I think living together made it worse.
yeah, I think so.
Oh my god, they were
After
like
you broke up with me, you kind
they were like serious. They were living together. Oh my
of
god.
acted like we were still dating without the label.
Well, we never
Oh.
like did stuff after we broke up.
No, we didn't. But like you would say like, "Hey, sugar tits," and I'm like,
What?
"Yeah." You were like in a silly, goofy mood, and you smacked my butt too, and I'm like, "What?"
Yeah, that was definitely stuff that was.
It was
No.
you were having a moment, and then we had the final. I'm sure you're aware of where I'm going with this. We, I don't know, studied for an hour, and then I was getting sleepy, and I don't even know why you suggested I sleep in your room. I was literally right next door.
Yeah, well, I remember you were, because you were on my bed and you were like sort of sitting, but you were lying
Yeah.
down. And you were like literally dozing off. So what I meant was like, if you want to like sleep for a minute, like you can.
All of a sudden, like I had woken up and I had felt like a hand on my thigh, and I'm like, that's weird. I don't know what to do. I'm sure it'll stop. I kind of wanted to see your perspective. What was going through your head?
Oh my god. This is a lot. I do love her nails.
I think one of the hardest parts for me when we first broke up, and especially since we were still living together, when you're with somebody for a long time and you're used to having a certain physical intimacy and a certain relationship and a certain things. Obviously, like I knew that once we ended, those things had to end, but it's not like, you know, it's not possible for like any person to just like have like a switch that you flipped and go from like boyfriend mode to friend mode. Especially
Okay, I mean, I feel like there's a difference between slapping someone's butt and calling them sugar tits. Like, and like just like accidentally, like, I don't know, like, there's a point in the stepping over the line where you have to realize you're over the line, right? Like, I don't know.
things with like physical contact. And I didn't
I guess, yeah, it can't be like an automatic thing, but like, I mean, come on. You should be able to acknowledge that this is something that could happen and try and stop yourself from doing it. Like,
realize that I'm really sorry. And I
Okay.
really do apologize about making you feel that way and putting my hands on you in a way that I shouldn't have. I really, really hope that you'll hear me and know that I didn't intend for it to be a harmful, you know, aggressive thing. It was
weird. It didn't feel aggressive. I was just, after that point, I was unsure.
Is it time for a potty break by chance?
Yeah.
Do you think it would be possible to just be friends?
It's weird, because I've got a vibe.
What do you mean a vibe?
When I moved to Korea, he made me a playlist that was like 9 hours, 10 hours, and all the songs are like, I miss you, if it were up to me, I'd be with you, and like songs like that. So I was like,
What?
we're musicians, is he trying to send me a message?
Any new ways that you're feeling?
I feel like
Obviously. Oh my god. I don't think this. I mean, people can do what they want. I don't support this guy, and I think she deserves someone better. At least 6 minutes in.
it felt really healthy and it felt pretty natural, I think.
Who was better at that?
Probably you.
Me?
Probably.
Why probably?
Experience.
Oh my god, maybe that's
I
why.
have more sexual partners. I think we made a good team, if you will. We were.
Do rock, paper, scissors, slide, braiding hair.
I mean, I don't know that you can braid my hair, but I could braid your hair.
Okay.
Oh no.
So the Spotify playlist you made, eh?
Yeah? You like it?
There's quite a few songs in there.
Yeah.
When I was listening to it in Korea, I was like, are you sending a message?
I think they're
I
gonna
was
fuck.
not intending to send you any kind of a message through the music. Were you hoping that I was?
I mean, I wouldn't say I was hoping, but it seemed a little too, like, I'm gonna pull that playlist up later and I'm gonna show you exactly what I mean.
Honestly, a big piece of it was like, I know you're gonna be on a fucking flight for a long time, so like if you're absolutely bored and you get sick of your own music and you want some fresh tunes, then here you go, mate. Okay, that's not too bad. That ain't too bad.
How's it going?
It's going good. Time's flying.
You said
That's good.
maybe you would consider getting back together. Do you feel more strongly about that?
It's still kind of coming along now that we're kind of getting into like deeper conversations and like talking about issues that were really just pushing our relationship. I think it's starting to get a little bit stronger. It's not ruled out.
So what else do you want to explore?
Definitely the pregnancy.
Having any romantic feelings for her right now and being with her this long?
Wow, okay.
Wait,
That's a
what?
fair question. You know, it's like as we're reminiscing and like talking about things and thinking about memories, there's definitely moments where like I just kind of look at her and remember those feelings and remember those moments and sort of think like, yeah, like it's a hard thing to not want back.
Do a little yoga.
You wanna teach me some yoga? Me too.
You're gonna bring that back,
This
straight
one?
back.
Straight back.
Like lean down, lay down. I feel like a seal. That's more dolphin.
That was hilarious.
Did you two talk about marriage?
When we dated,
Yeah, when we dated for sure.
like briefly, not much. Like
it came
they
up
weren't. They
several
weren't.
times.
Yeah, but they weren't like in gross detail.
I don't know if you remember this. We straight up had conversations about like, here goes, ready, about how we would raise our kids, like religiously speaking. We were like, if we have kids, you were like, I want to raise my kids Christian. And I was like, I'm not Christian, but if you want to raise them that way, like that's fine. Just know that I'm not necessarily in that belief.
We talked about religion quite a bit throughout the relationship. Like I would ask you to come because it means a lot just for you to show up.
Right.
Just to come to my church. I think it was hitting a nerve with your experience with your dad. and
Stepdad.
hit stepdad and his pushiness. But going was something that was like upsetting you, and I didn't want to do anything to like make you upset, but I didn't want to say it's okay that you don't come. That point has always been a breaking point with me and guys and people I've been with.
Yeah.
Okay, I mean, as someone who doesn't like going to church, I can kind of understand both sides of that. Maybe they're just not compatible.
To this day, I don't think I've ever like been that in love with anybody.
So why'd you fuck it up and cheat on me?
Oh my god. Hold
Because
open.
this isn't the first time you've told me, oh, I love you so much, or like, I'm so in love with you.
Because I'm a fucking idiot, honestly. Because I'm fucking stupid, and
Were you just not thinking?
no.
So why didn't you tell me immediately?
I really thought I was doing better by you by not telling you. I couldn't think to myself like, I fucked it up so bad that she's gonna leave me, and I don't want to lose her.
So just selfish?
Yes.
Okay. I do like her. Like how she treats this whole like I would like not I hope like I hope I mean they were obviously together for a long time, so I don't know. But like the whole aspect where she's like genuinely confronting him about it and being serious with like these prodding questions and like asking follow-up questions, it's really impressive.
How are those quesadillas?
They're good.
They're really good.
I want a
Do you
quesadilla.
think if we were to date now, where we are in our lives, we would be better for each other?
I think so. We can't be worse than we were for each
Okay.
other. You seem a lot more like mentally healthy personally, because I think you were your worst enemy when we were dating.
We definitely would be a lot better for each
I
other
think
now.
there are still some challenges to get over
Sure.
if we were to date.
Yeah.
Number one being that I'm pregnant.
Oh, she's the pregnant one. Okay. I thought like they were okay. Now I get it.
Can you give us some more context of how he knows already?
I had moved to Korea to teach English, and I met a guy over there.
I love
and
her.
He was really kind to me, made me laugh. One night we had sex, and immediately after having sex, I was like, I'm pregnant. I'm gonna be pregnant. Before I got the actual pregnancy test, I broke up with him. And I had said, if I actually am pregnant, I'm going to move to America. My support system's there. And we had a long conversation, which ended in me being called childish. And so I flew back. I think you were one of the first friends I saw.
Can you ask her, are you looking for someone to raise your child?
God.
Are you looking for someone to raise your child with?
Am I seeking somebody? No. It would be nice to have someone to help, because I don't want
I
to
feel that.
meet someone and then say, hi, I'm pregnant, I'm gonna have a child. Like, if you're with me, you have to take care of the kid
Narrows down the pool.
significantly.
You've made
Okay, this just got so much more real. I don't even know what to say anymore. Oh my god. That's a lot.
a lot of hard choices, and I applaud you for everything you've done so far, honestly. How are you doing with it?
It was a struggle. I was not happy when I found out I was pregnant. And I had kind of thought about abortion, but I did some praying and realized that you can't really make a plan in your life because it's not always going to go how you want it to. There's no point in a plan, and my life is led by God, so I guess I'm going back to America. That's where I'm needed.
Do you believe that God intended, like planned for you to have a baby?
Yeah, I think so.
Cool.
It's scary, but like it's literally showing me I have so many people that I can count on and that can help me, and that's what helped me
Okay.
move back here.
So what you said cool.
Hypothetically,
is-
if we were to get back together today, what would that look like?
I mean, there's so many unknowns and questions because I'm pregnant. I would like to think, because we've gone through the small talk portion of like, where are you from?
I do get why like she's more interested in getting back together with him, because like she's already gone past like the discovery phase with him, and it's more about like figuring out where he is now. Like I think like parts of it I see issues with, but in her position, like, it makes sense to a degree.
Where are you from?
We're already to the point where we know
Yeah.
enough about each other.
And we know that we click.
I'd want you to go to church weekly because it is my identity. Again, it's literally just supporting me, not necessarily believing all of it.
I mean, okay, I feel like weekly, like, why does it have to be weekly? Especially if he's like uncomfortable with it because of like a past, well, sorry, I should say specifically because he's uncomfortable with it because of a past experience with his stepfather or whatever. Like, I don't know. I feel like that's a little strange. Like, I'd be a little more flexible. But I don't know why I'm exactly. It's her life.
Another pro of hypothetically getting back together today.
Having a stepdaddy.
Having a stepdaddy. That's a pro for you.
What do you miss most about me?
Okay. What do I miss most about you?
Yeah.
Like one thing or like several things?
I mean, you can give me a list.
Even in our relationship, we really were like best friends first. Like we absolutely were. You really quite were my other half. You had a lot of love to give, and it was very beautiful to receive.
I miss telling you all my little dramas and like you're my little partner in crime. So I would
partner
just
in crime.
literally whatever I knew, you knew. Also, having someone that makes me laugh to the point I cackle. It's been a long time since I've heartily laughed, like legitimately.
I see how they go together. Like they're, oh my god. But no, like they have a cute dynamic. Like I get it. I appreciate having that dynamic with people.
You're a man of moody moods.
Moody moods. What that means?
Like songwriting. You wrote several songs about me.
Well, I wrote songs about you before we were dating, and I wrote at least one song for you while we were dating. Do you remember that? For Christmas.
Oh yes,
the girl with yellow hair.
And the Pop Tarts.
Back when you were blonde.
It's probably somewhere still on my phone because
I
I
met
couldn't
this girl
really.
who told me she could draw real well, but she forgot to mention her real talent was stealing hearts.
They're gonna fuck.
Gonna happen?
There could be.
We've been talking about going to the zoo.
We have. The zoo.
The otters.
Would you consider it a date, or would it just be like, we're friends?
I think I'm going to the zoo with someone on my own. It's a date. The zoo is my date spot.
The zoo is your date spot. Zoo
I love
with
the
the
zoo.
Dippin' Dots.
Bro, Do you want a date?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be opposed.
That was.
Oh my god.
It's either all in or like not at all.
Yeah, that's true. I would say yes. But at the same time, I feel like maybe I would need a little bit of time to think about it. Now that the hypothetical is becoming more real, you know,
The
it's like if
implications of
it's you know, like if it's in, it's all in kind of thing. You know what I mean? And like there's history and there's people and there's families and there's baby and there's this and there's drama and there's these things. My initial response is to say yes.
I'm trying to think of how that handshake went.
I barely
So
remember.
there's
Okay.
smack, pinky, birdie, pull it back, fist bump.
Come on. Did we shake on it? Is that our? We shook on
Oh,
it.
we shook.
We're
One date.
one date.
Bing.
Bing.
Oh my god.
I was
They
saying
got
that time
food
passed
for
faster than I thought.
Yeah.
I guess time flies.
When you're having
Whatever.
fun.
Well, you finish your sandwich and go take
Oh
a
god.
stretch break.
Okay.
Ugh. Don't hit the microphone. Don't hit the microphone. Ah, look at me. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you.
I think
On a date?
I guess so.
You agreed to?
I think what hurts me is like the way she handles everything. I can see myself saying the same shit, but with a different like perspective in some ways, or at least like it honestly like the. It seems like she's just testing the waters with like the cutaways.
To a date.
I guess so. Yeah.
She seemed a little disappointed that you're kind of hesitant.
I guess it felt like a big thing to say yes to. You know, like kind of a big commitment. But I think I've come around a little bit. Like it's one date, at least. It might not be like a super high stakes event.
So you realize like he's gonna raise a kid if he continues. And go to
Before
church
today,
weekly.
As we had been reconnecting, had you had any thoughts of like a possibility of getting back together with me or like seeing me that way at all in any sense?
Did it cross my mind? Yeah. Like when I was in Korea. Prior to that, not really.
Obviously, while she was fucking the guy, because remember how she said he was probably better than her? Anyways.
The more we kind of started talking, the more sides of you I had seen, and the more reliable you became as a person just in my life. The reliability kind of brought into question, like, can I trust you again? My eventual answer, as the father of the baby had broken my trust, what I had told him was, it took you 3 years, but I would say you built my trust back. I wasn't sure if I wanted to get back together, but in talking with you, I think it was always in the back of my mind as a possibility. Like I could see if we could work again.
If I were to have kids with somebody, I think you would be a pretty good person to have kids
I would hope
I
so.
like to hear that.
with. Yeah.
They'd be cute babies.
White and Hispanic. Yeah, I mean, it's a good combo. At any point during this experience, have you thought about kissing me?
Yeah.
Really?
I thought, like, would I want to? Like, what would it be like after this?
Oh my
would I
God.
kiss?
Oh,
Like,
shit.
by the car, just
By
like
the car.
sneaky after hours kiss.
Sneaky. Who is she? Chaotic.
Like, let's explore that. And I was thinking about it, and I was like, all while you were talking, so I'm sorry if I didn't
That's
listen
it. No, that's
to things
okay.
you were saying.
You were getting lost in my voice. What can I
my
say? I
gosh.
tend to have that effect
Lost
on
in the
people.
lips.
Right?
You want to peck?
They're flirting so fucking much.
Here. I'll give you a little kissy.
Okay.
The way she said kissy right before it just completely threw me out.
That's maybe more than a peck.
Maybe more than a peck.
Not bad.
Not bad.
Room for improvement. Beard burn is never,
The beard.
never enjoyable, but that's not going away whether you let it grow or shave it.
You two kissed.
We
We
did.
did.
When's the last time you kissed?
Last time we dated?
When we dated, yeah.
Okay.
3 years ago, I guess. I was not expecting you to ask me if I wanted to kiss. I will be honest.
You thought I was gonna sit over here and twiddle my fingers and
and just secretly wanted.
yeah.
Oh my
Ask me a
God.
question.
Okay.
Do you feel like after today so far, do you feel like you are more attracted to me than you were before today?
Yes.
Today, yeah. I think I've got a lot of hard questions out there and very interesting answers. How about you? After today, our whole experience, how you finding me?
How you finding me? I've never not found you physically attractive, but the other part, emotional, intellectual, I definitely think those were heightened as of today.
Oh, that's my ring.
Oh my God.
You're the one that's hurting. You're the one with the rings, huh?
I know you keep hitting my nooks.
Yucks. What's up?
Nothing much.
Not much.
Just been hanging out in a box.
Just been hanging out in the
Got
box.
down to the final hour.
Oh my
Final
God.
hour.
Whoa.
Holy moly guacamole.
You two kissed.
You can tell how tired they are. This is how I develop in the conversations if I'm with someone for long enough.
Honestly, I was not planning that. If I weren't in this environment, I probably wouldn't have kissed him.
Were you expecting that?
Like to kiss?
Yeah.
Not at all, honestly. I was more surprised that she would be willing to kiss, you know?
Do you
That
think
was-
you're deserving of her affection?
I am doing what I can to make up for the past and to right my wrongs and sort of make up for what I did and what has happened between us. If my best is enough and it's what she would require and what is needed, in that case, yeah.
I stood up and looked around. There was nothing to be found. Just a world I couldn't see. And I heard.
Final five-ish
I'm obsessed with her.
How has this been for you?
Honestly, pretty fun. It was nice spending time with you, and you know, I always enjoy being near you and around you, and learned a lot. You know, we broke through some barriers.
Did you think it would go as fast as it did?
No. What about you?
It's been fun. I learned a lot. Kind of things I thought I wanted to hear, things I needed to hear. Wasn't anticipating leaving here having a date. I was definitely not anticipating kissing you.
Yeah, me neither.
So it's felt like planned and spontaneous and all the fun parts of knowing somebody and like getting to know somebody.
Yeah, it definitely felt like an experiment.
We did it!
Yay! Plug it out too, or no?
Sure.
Oh my god.
Sorry, I'm very sorry, I will say. Shut up. I really love you. You know, you're great, and I'm happy to have you in my life again.
Me too.
All right, you did it.
Okay.
Wow.
You ready to get out and be free?
I mean, I can chill. No, I was kidding. Yeah,
She did not say I
You
love
want to
you.
stay here longer?
I mean,
Are you surprised by what happened?
I guess I'm a little bit surprised.
She did not say I love you back. She said me too. I appreciate that.
About how comfortable and easy it felt to just be so candid.
I think we're back to being best friends, potentially on the way to something more.
I guess we'll go on a date and see how it goes, see how it feels, and I'll let you know.
This was so interesting. Is this like a supercut of the whole thing? Oh my god. Oh no, not the whole oh, whoops.
To this day, I
How is... These videos are like so interesting. Like, I watched off stream the other one where it was like trapped with someone you don't know, like a first date, and like it's just so weird. But like these folks, they're obviously like they had a like I feel like they had a really nice chemistry in terms of how they interacted. Like it was very funny. I see why like they really wanted to get back like their relationship and stuff. It's I don't know. I don't know what I like. Obviously, we don't know their story. We don't know like the in and out details of everything that happened in their relationship and why they feel these ways and why they came to this situation. But it was really interesting to see them interact and like I hope like everything goes well for both of them. Like I feel like I learned more about her like on a personal level. Like I think this was more about her than it was about him. Like all I know about him is that he cheated. And that he's a musician. That he has like a goofy, like self-deprecating kind of sense of humor. She's like a Christian, she's pregnant, she taught English in Korea, like I feel like she's like there was a lot about her. And I hope she has a good life. She seems sweet. So did he. I don't know. Need more of these. I think a good one would be trapped in a box with siblings, lol. Yes, that would be amazing. How are those quesadillas? Moment, like a waiter coming to the table, deliberately interrupting a super heavy discussion. Yeah. Sorry, I started reading this. You can tell he feels pressure to cater to her feelings. He never said when he was alone he wanted to rekindle things. Only she did. I guess. I can see that. It could be editing or they just didn't ask him enough. They asked a few different ways. His responses are not all edited either, but it's just my perspective. That's true. Yeah, no, I think this comment, yeah, like, okay, he sounds like he's placing a lot of blame for the downfall of the relationship on himself, especially with all his mistakes in the past, with cheating on her, breaking up, and then acting weird afterwards. Maybe he doesn't feel like it's his place to ask for more after he's broken her trust so many times. At the end of the day, he never denied wanting to get back together and even admitted to still being physically and emotionally attracted to her. I agree with that. This is a good post. Yeah. But, yeah, I think I think if she wasn't pregnant, he would be all in. The feelings are there, but the added layer of responsibility, tough for anyone that age. I That's true. Yeah, like it is something that changes the situation to a degree. Like it's something that you have to think about and like be willing to go through. The religious difference is never going to stop being a problem if she makes him go to church with her. I Yeah, either he's going to have to spend an hour or two lying every week or he's going to come into regular conflict with others who aren't as tolerant of him not believing as she is. The only way the difference could really be settled is them both actually respecting each other's approach to the faith. Him being okay with her attending, and her being okay with him not. I will say I disagree with the conclusion a little bit, but I agree with the rest. I think there's still like a point where you can like show interest in your significant other's interest and like be there for her in important moments for her without being there every single week. Because like that's a huge commitment. Um Her trying to guilt him into going to church when he isn't religious is a big yikes for me. Yeah, I didn't mention this stuff. You can support your partner's religion by allowing them to practice it, by allowing them. Oh my god. Okay, I disagree with that. I I I think again, like there is an equilibrium where you support them by being there. Like because a lot of church and a lot of stuff like that are community events where you get people involved and you just hang out essentially. At least that's my understanding. I was never super involved in a church. But so like there are events where you can go and just be there to support your wife and sure you might have to hear some religious shit. But like fine. It's like hopefully you have your own hobbies you drag your wife into then too. And she like has some interest. I don't know. Like I feel like that you can do like you don't have to work that way, but you can, you know? We need an update on this couple and also the baby. There's a lot of judgment here in the comments, and the way this is edited at least doesn't show her in the best light. That's fair. Like she doesn't have the best light shown on her, but like I also get her. Like this dude has texted her for like 3 years. They were dating, they were very good together, and while she is like a little pushy and trying to get him into like shape him into who she wants instead of who he is, like I think you're allowed to a degree to like say, hey, like these are the things that I expect, and then he gets to make the decision whether or not he can do that. Um, but like, yeah, I don't think either of them are like perfect people, but who is? As a compromise, she could ask him to go to church with her and the kid on holidays. Okay, bro, there's like what 5 holidays? Come on, it could be a. That's a little too narrow. I love this. The comments here disgust me. This woman got pregnant with a guy's baby from Korea, broke up with him the day after, moved thousands of kilometers away from the father, and suddenly is trying to make her ex become the new father, but he's the one leading her on. It doesn't excuse his cheating, but come on, people. I mean, you can paint it in like that negative of a light, but seriously, like, she obviously didn't want to raise the kid in Korea. She wasn't expecting anything from the guy in Korea. She just broke up with him to return to her support system and is in contact. Like the dude knew she was pregnant before he came by what we saw. So like this is a little bit of a silly comment to me. I disagree with it. Like she I did feel like he was leading her. Like I didn't see that in the comments that I read, but I did feel like to a degree like he's less committed in the asides and in some moment like when it's just one on one with the cameraman or I don't know the camera person. And like as a result, like it does give a weird lure like a weird aspect to when she's like, you have to be all in, and he's like, no. But of course, I think asking someone to be all in from that point is a little weird. Like, I could be wrong. I've never dated someone with a child. Um, but And like, to be fair, it's different because they know each other. So I get why she might feel comfortable asking him, like, hey, you have to be all in about this. We know we like each other. Um, but it's still like weird. I don't know. Like, it was at the end of a 12-hour long time together, but still. Yeah, no, the church issue, like, I agree, it is like a big thing. And like, if he has like religious trauma, because she mentioned something about how like his uncle was very or stepfather was very pushy about it. And obviously that's very vague. We don't really know what's there. Um, so like they should be able to find something that like works. And like if it's like serious trauma, like to a level where he can never go into the church, like I think that's understandable. I don't know what it is, but I think there can definitely be levels of things that are understandable there. Um, girl, go find a Christian and let him live. To a degree, like I do think she may as well just like find someone else. Wait, he's not into her like that, and we could tell. I I don't know, like I couldn't. I don't know. I can see that to a degree. I feel like that I don't, in my view, I don't think he was ready to commit to the level of degree that she's asking for, and that he knows that, but he also really wants to get back with her too. So I hope he realizes that if that's the case, and if not, then cool. I hope like they're happy together. Um, I want to see a long-time married couple in this box. That'd be so cute. I think there's so many places you can take this concept. I read these comments for way too long. I feel like I don't know. It's hard to have a view on these things because you're really just seeing such a small snippet of even the 12-hour conversation, let alone their lives. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a good rest of your day. Bye, folks. Hey folks, thank you so much for watching. Remember to like the video, subscribe on YouTube, follow on Twitch, and have a great rest of your day. Bye.